All right, let's talk about a classic high-risk, high-reward story, straight from the world of biotech, 40 Molecular Therapeutics, or FDMT. Now, for any investor looking at this, it boils down to one huge question. Is this a shot at a legitimate cure, or is it just a complete shot in the dark? Let's dig in.
So let me just ask you something right off the bat. What if you could actually invest in a cure for blindness before it even exists? I mean, think about that. It's a massive, world-changing idea, and frankly, it's the kind of thing that gets investors really, really excited.
And that incredible question? Well, that is the exact promise of 4D Molecular Therapeutics. This is a clinical stage company, which means they are swinging for the fences, trying to tackle some of the toughest diseases out there. And they're starting with diseases of the eye.
Okay, so let's start with the bull case. Why are some investors so incredibly optimistic about FDMT? Well, it all comes down to the huge promise of their technology, and specifically, their leading drug candidate.
Before we dive into the deep end with FDMT, let's make sure we're all on the same page. They work in gene therapy. Now, the easiest way to think about this is like fixing a bug in your computer's software. If a disease is caused by some faulty genetic code in your body, gene therapy aims to go in and deliver the correct code to fix the problem right at the source.
So, what's FMDT's secret weapon in all this? It's something they call the Therapeutic Vector Evolution Platform. See, they aren't just creating the cure, they're building a better delivery truck for it. They start by creating millions, literally millions, of potential delivery vehicles, which are called vectors. Then they test them to find the one that acts like a smart key, something that can unlock and deliver that genetic payload only to the diseased cells. This makes it potentially way safer and a lot more effective.
And all that cool technology has produced a real star player. Their drug candidate, 4D-150. This one targets retinal vascular diseases, which are a major cause of blindness. For investors, this is where the story gets really compelling, because the results we've seen so far, they look very, very good.
And this is the headline that really turned heads. Positive 60-week data. You see, in the biotech world, anyone can get lucky with short-term results, but clearing that long-term hurdle? That is a massive validator. It suggests that treatment isn't just a flash in the pan, but that it has a real, lasting effect. And that is the holy grail for both patients and, of course, investors.
And as if that wasn't enough, they got this. RMAT designation from the FDA. This is a huge vote of confidence from the regulators. It basically means the FDA sees the therapy's potential and is willing to help fast-track its development and review process. For an investor, that translates to a potentially much quicker path to actually getting on the market.
Okay, we've heard all the good stuff, the promise. But every story has two sides, right? Now we have to flip the coin and talk about the peril. Because for every biotech success story, there are countless failures. And FDMT is facing some very serious challenges. This is the other side of the coin that every single investor needs to understand.
Let's start with the financials, because this shows the brutal reality of a company that's still in the clinical stage. In a recent quarter, analysts expected what, about $447,000 in revenue? The actual number? A little over $7,000. With no approved product on the market, the company just isn't making any real money.
And, when you're not making money, you are burning through it fast. The company lost 98 cents for every share in that same quarter, which was even worse than the market expected. That's just the cost of doing ambitious research and development, and it means the clock is always, always ticking to find more cash just to keep the lights on.
On top of that, FDMT is not playing in an empty field, not even close. The gene therapy space is incredibly competitive. You've got absolute giants like Pfizer and Novartis with nearly unlimited resources, and then you have these nimble, specialized biotechs like Adverum, whose drug Ixovec is a direct competitor. FDMT is betting its smart key can win, but that's a tough bet to make in such a crowded room.
And if you want a perfect picture of all this uncertainty, just look at the stock price. Over a single year, the stock has swung from just over $2 a share to more than 17. This is not a stable blue-chip stock. This is a pure roller coaster where every little rumor or piece of clinical data can send it either soaring or completely crashing.
So let's just boil down the bear case, nice and clear. First, clinical failure. One bad trial result could literally wipe out most of the company's value overnight. It's that serious. Second, financial instability. They're burning cash, and they need more of it to survive. That's not a guarantee. And third, shareholder dilution. To get that cash, they often have to issue more stock, which of course can water down the value of the shares you already own. Okay, so we've got the bull case and we've got the bear case. It's a lot to take in. So what do you, as a potential investor, actually do with all this information? Let's turn this into an actionable watch list of things you should be monitoring.
Here is your cheat sheet, the things you absolutely need to be watching. First and foremost, clinical trial news. This is everything. This is the whole ball game. Positive data could send the stock to the moon. Negative data could be a death sentence. Next, you gotta watch the FDA. Any announcements from them, good or bad, will have a direct impact. Third, keep a close eye on their cash burn and any news about financing. And finally, you have to watch the competition. Their successes and their failures are a huge part of FDMT's story, too.
So it all comes back to this, doesn't it? Is an investment in FDMT just a blind gamble, or is it a calculated risk on the future of medicine? You've got this promising technology and some really positive data, but you've also got these immense financial and competitive hurdles. The answer, honestly, depends entirely on your own tolerance for risk and how much you believe in their science.
At the end of the day, that decision is yours. We just hope this explainer gave you a clearer framework for thinking about both the opportunity and the very real risks involved. If you found this helpful, please subscribe.